Hey guys, Logan here. Quick update before we start this video. I will still be doing interviews, but instead of interacting with actual humans, I will be interacting with AI if I want to stick to the interviewing and topic of gaming. I know it's not going to be the same, but for me, it's probably going to be the best. It'll make me upload more frequent. It's just the best for me. I don't want to get into depth about why I'm doing this. It's just that I am. It might not be the best decision, but it is a decision to keep this rolling if I want to do this. The game we're doing today is called deathbed. The status is a release. The platform's HTML5. The offer is Lumicice Star. It's made with Godot, and the tags are Godot and Godot 4. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to call this person up. This person is a star. I got a picture of their profile. They allowed me to. This is what it is if it focuses up. So they are a star. I'm going to call them up. I'm going to make sure they're okay doing the interview. And yeah, I will see you then. And hopefully this interview goes well. Alright guys, I've got the interview ready and set. They're definitely fine doing the interview. Their gender is a he. They do want me to talk to their friend after the interview. And so we're going to do the interview now. I got them called up. And they don't want to go by their actual name. They'd rather be just called Star. So that's why I'm going to call you them for the remainder of the interview. So let's get the interview started. All right, man. Can you hear me? I'm recording right now, and I'm ready to ask you some questions about the game you made.
Yup, I can hear you. I'm ready for your questions.
All right, thank you. So, the first question I have for you, your username is Lumicice Star. Why did you decide your username to be Lumicice Star?
I just made that my username BC. I thought it sounded cool. Nothing really special. It's not really based on anything.
All right, that's nice. So, you said you made your game with Godot. My question is Godot the software you really trust to make your games?
At this point, yeah, I still try new game engines to experiment. But overall, I really enjoy the feel of Godot, so I tend to stick with it. I really enjoy how easy it is to navigate through.
So the title you made your game was Defib. DEFIB is how you spell the game. Why did you decide to call the game Defib?
The game was very much inspired by the horror game called Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. And if my memory serves me right, the name of the game was inspired by the term defibrillator, which is a small device used to shock the heart and help regulate its rhythm. However, I had difficulty remembering the name, and all I could remember was defib. So that's why I ended up naming the game Defib.
So the main character of the game is when I clicked in it was an alien. My question is, why is the main character an alien?
Good old random decision making. When making the character's design, I went over several different design approaches, but I settled on the alien because I felt it added a more unusual and unique vibe to the game.
So with the alien, it was in a deathbed, and the goal of the game was to try to make the alien live to again and try to make the alien well again. My question is, why did you decide the alien to be in a deathbed?
The reason the alien is in a deathbed is to add to the eerie and unsettling atmosphere of the game. I wanted to create a sense of tension and suspense, and having the alien in a deathbed was a good way to do that, seeing as the character needs you to revive it.
Okay, so my next question is so there is like a little checklist, and that checklist is pretty much the endings or the missions you have to do in order to make the revive the alien or make the alien well again. What I want to do is I want to talk about the four little missions or the four little checklists, whatever you call them, and I want to go over them one by one, and I want you to talk about what made you decide to go with these four decisions. Are you good if we talk about that now?
Sure, no problem. We can talk about the missions now.
All right. So the first little mission or the first checklist you need to do, the picture of it was the alien dying. Now that I think about it, these are just endings. One of the endings were the alien dying. Now, why did you have an ending or a mission for the alien to die when the goal of the game was to revive the alien?
That's a good question. The first mission is indeed an ending, like the others you mentioned. And the reason I included an ending where the player fails to help the alien is simply to add variety and difficulty to the game. It provides a consequence for failing to help the alien, and adds replay value as it encourages the player to try again and do better in subsequent playthroughs. I wanted to make the game challenging while also being enjoyable, and adding a few endings that result in a failed attempt helps with adding to that balance.
So another ending you had with the game is if you fail to revive the alien, their hearts literally just explode and they literally just die. My question is, why did you decide to make another ending of the alien dying by making their heart explode?
That's an excellent question again. I made their hearts explode because I wanted to add an element of shock and surprise to the game. It was a way to create a sense of immediate consequence for failing to revive the alien quickly, which also made it feel more intense and urgent. The explosion of their heart was my way of adding an element of shock and fear, as seeing the heart explode can be a jarring sight, which was one of the things I was aiming for when creating that particular ending.
So now I want to talk about the last ending you made. I know you made four, but I forgot the third one, so I'm just going to talk about the last one. The last ending you made was the alien actually reviving. The alien was actually well again. My question is, why did you decide to make two bad endings and only one good ending?
That's a perceptive observation. I actually did choose to have two bad endings, and only one good ending to add an element of challenge and difficulty. I wanted to make it a bit harder for players to achieve a successful ending, and by having the other endings be failures, it added to the sense of accomplishment that players would feel when they finally achieved the good ending. It was a way of making the game more rewarding when players were able to successfully revive the alien, and a way to keep players engaged and trying to achieve that final ending.
Now, this is the biggest question for anyone in any interview. Why did you exactly decide to make the game?
The initial inspiration for making the game was actually a game review video I watched some time back. The game being reviewed was Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, and in the review, the YouTuber mentioned a device called a defib. From the moment I heard that word, I thought it sounded really cool and decided I wanted to make a game with that name. So it started as a simple idea inspired by a game review video, and from there, I just decided it would be interesting to make my own game revolving around the idea of the device.
So, an extra question I have, what exactly was that device you're talking about called?
The device being referred to is a defibrillator, or defib for short. It's a medical device used to regulate the heart rhythm by sending an electric shock to the heart.
Alright, that's interesting. Now, is there anyone that you want to, like, credit? Like, is there anyone who, like, you want to credit that inspired you to make the game, or anyone that helped you make the game?
There are a few people that come to mind when thinking of inspirations and help. One of them is a game reviewer named John Wolfe, who reviewed the game Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion, which sparked the inspiration for my game, Defib. Another person I want to credit is my friend Rookie, who helped me with playtesting and providing feedback on my game. I want to thank both of them for their role in the creation of Defib.
And is there anything you want to add that I haven't really talked about yet?
Well, I can add a few things. One of them is that I used itch.io to release and distribute the game, and it's available for download for free. If you want to try out the game, you can download it for free on the website. I also want to credit the music used in the game to a musician on YouTube called Dova Syndrome. He allowed me to use his music in my game for free, and those music tracks make the game even better.
Alright, I think that is all the questions I have for you. I want to thank you very, very much for doing the interview with me. I really appreciate you doing it with me.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I enjoyed the interview and answering your questions. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss my game. And if you have any more questions or need clarification on anything, feel free to ask.
Thank you. And I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not the same as doing it with a human, but it's the best way for me to continue my content. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. See you guys in the next interview.